All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It is match point 2-2 after a 2-game start for Final 5, and they're looking a little bit more attentive after that one.
Well, I would say they look a little more fatigued. There's a lot of taxing that goes on mentally in a best of 5, and I brought it up at the beginning of the day that you have to be resilient. When you take losses, you have to be able to come back like Fusion have, and they actually have the momentum coming into this game.
Maybe this is lucky Garen, man. Stay resolute. Gonna have to
don't lock in Garen. It's
they're gonna have to get a little
terrible
bit more.
idea.
Yeah, I might be in trouble later on. But Final 5, they started out this incredibly strong, but they've got still a way to climb. It's still anybody's game. This last one, they played fantastically when they stuck to their guns, but they just need to go back to it. I feel like go back to the tried and true strategy. Don't try to mind game Fusion because it just doesn't work more than twice.
Yeah, and it's not gonna work. Like I don't know how much it worked the second time either. Like I feel like they outpicked themselves here. That was really the big thing for me, was they outpicked themselves because they picked a complete poke comp with no engage. Their biggest part of engage was shorter ace, trying to kick somebody back, and just wasn't working out because of the team composition that they had. So it was just a big kind of flub there from Champion Select, and then trying to play to their win conditions, which was poke everybody, but then their poke wasn't as good as they had intended it to be, and casting got off the ground, and Fusion just really had the counter comp.
Yeah, and also I want to talk a little bit about Prototype, because he in particular seemed the least comfortable at picking. Corki, he has played a lot, obviously, he's practiced, but it's just one of his least main champions. And taking the heal, I feel like it's almost like a comfort mechanism for him. It's worked so well, and at least he's going to draw the Vayne ban still, so that will be consistent throughout the series. Zed now banned away on the other side as we, of course, swap the sides. Yeah,
Prototype got caught 2 times, and those were kind of the little daggers in the sides that were allowed to be twisted by Fusion to end the game. Just they found the weak point, caught it twice, and then were able to exploit that. Because they focus him pretty much every team fight. So his positioning has to be impeccable, but the fact that he didn't have a front line this game, or the last game, because of it was a full poke composition, he had to be even more on top of that.
Yeah, Fusion has really started to evaluate and figure those weak points out. Now look at this, the Janna lock in quick for Rule 18, they're prioritizing that. So they do give up some priority choices here for Fusion, but it tells you that they're still trying to lead from the bot lane, and I think that's what they needed to go back to.
Yeah, and the fact they got him back on that comfort champion that was banned out by Fusion last time. You can see Fusion sitting there thinking this one through really hard, because now the engage composition is not going to be as fruitful as it was before.
Yeah, Janna really makes it not too difficult to pull the disengage. And also, we've seen some really awesome offensive monsoons. It's not exactly Rule 18 style, but he is not afraid to get in there, mix it up with people. The Jarvan pick for Nintendo would be very, very likely. He has played it quite a lot today. Macnoon or Huhi could do this Lissandra as well, and that, again, doesn't telegraph too much.
No, it doesn't. That's a very powerful flex pick, but they keep picking the Jarvan very early on, and the fact that you're going to get a Jarvan Cataclysm pretty much on top of where Macnoon's going to be throwing his spells is going to be really big. They could still go for a very big mid-game oriented team composition if they pick up a Rumble from Macnoon. On top of all that, that would be a very devastating wombo combo, but very AP-centric. But that's not a bad thing in this current meta because of the fact that Magic Resist is a little more expensive.
Yeah, it's been a little bit difficult to come by, and that means that another reason why Lissandra has been so strong, they have quite a lot of mobility on this side, and they're pondering for Final 5 what they want to take. They don't really need to pick the jungle up. Oh my goodness, a Zac lock-in, as well as a LeBlanc. We haven't seen Zac in, I think it's been since like Season 3.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen Zac. He didn't make any appearances for the most part this year. You know, there were a couple people who did dabble in that top lane and in the jungle, but he's mostly fallen off the map.
Yeah, that is going to be quite the interesting choice there. Fusion thinking about what they answer back. The LeBlanc pick is obviously a little bit more of a expected thing out of gate, although he hasn't shown too much else with that. Now, Fusion has a lot of options on the table. They could pick this Corki for Nian, although he has prioritized, well, I throw that out the window. I was going to say Lucian, but he does go that route. Glebe does get his Nami this time, so they saved their mid pickup, but got to be scratching their heads at that Zac.
Yeah, a lot of comfort picks coming out here for Fusion. Final 5, not entirely sure about that. The Zac, if it's for shorter ace, you know, that might be a good move. His Lee Sin was something that he's been dying a lot on. It is his favorite champion, though. But at the same time, if you're dying a lot on your jungler, take Zac. Get a little bit of an extra life, a little extra out and save. Maybe Rux can save you with a TP.
It's very true, but we just haven't really seen Zach in this new jungle.
Yes.
It's very untested. Clearly, Shorter Ace has been checking it out, unless he's just that kind of player to go to it, but...
Yeah, or it's Rux. It could be either of them.
It's very true.
But it's also, this is 4.20, not 4.21, where Zach receives some Elastic Slingshot damage buffs and some Let's Bounce buff to his knockback becomes 400 as opposed to 150, I think it is.
Yeah, it's a lot shorter a range, so I mean, they are
250.
relying on a little bit less here. Now, Rux, thinking about the Aurelia pickup at the last second, I think he will lock this one in. He didn't have too much luck on it last time, but Prototype goes back to Jinx this time around. A really interesting comp here for Final 5.
Very comfort here for Prototype. Gate is going to have the LeBlanc for himself. It's been banned most of this series by his own team, targeting Huhi, trying to give Gate the best possible time that he can have. And here's the thing, is that Zach is actually a pretty damn good ganker against Lissandra. So if Lissandra ends up going middle, he's not going to have a good time.
They have so many interrupts, too. And Final 5, I mean, this might be one of those special strategies that they've kept locked in the vault for a while that Fusion just isn't prepared for to see. Will the Ezreal lock in, too? They have the option to send either Corki or him there mid, but it looks like it will be Huhi taking that. And I'm really liking this one. They're pulling out all the stops for this Game 5.
Yeah, I assume it's a mid lane Ezreal here. You usually do actually go tier still and get the Muramana and a Blade of the Ruined King, and you become an AD Ezreal on top of your Corki, which has the mixed damage, so you can pull this move off.
He's just a little bit blue.
Yes.
On the other side, Prototype going back to the tried and true. Gets that exhaust taken for him. And I think it really makes a lot of sense, not just in this particular composition, but it fits Prototype style so well. He's such a snowball-oriented AD carry. He loves to duel you out. He loves to stop the dives if he can, but also maybe make a couple of his own.
Yeah, and these are two AD carries on the side of Fusion that you have to get to. Zach does a pretty good job of that. Aurelia does an okay job at that. LeBlanc does a really good job at that, so he's going to have multiple squishy targets to blow up and possibly have Prototype, who's been really on point with his ultimate when he was playing Jinx. I was actually very surprised at how accurate he is with that and predicting people's movements. Like that time that he hit Intended in the bush, fantastic play.
Yeah, it's been a pretty long day already. It's been a pretty awesome day already, but these players are ready to take it to the Rift. They're ready to move on to the next level. We have to find out who will make it there into that next match. And again, it gets so much easier to make it in the LCS. You just get one game up, one game ahead. You have a little bit of pressure off. You get a breathing room. But if you fall down, man, that's just a huge blow to the confidence. And both these teams, they want it so bad.
Yeah,
to see them.
It is the final Game 5 here between these two teams. Winner moves on to the next round. Loser moves on to the bottom next round.
The bottom next round. Yeah,
Yes.
they keep going, but I mean,
bracket.
it becomes very intense at that point because they've got to worry about falling down after that, and then of course being fully eliminated. Nobody wants to be the first team out, especially. So that's going to be a rough time if they do that. But want to win, want to lose going forward. But this match is still up for grabs. Anybody's guess. Here we go. Coming out the gates, Shorter Ace on that Zach pickup. We'll see if they can make it work.
I wonder if the Zach is going to work out for them. We'll have to see. Because it's something we have not seen in a very long time. He does do well in the jungle, though. He does do well in this new jungle. He's able to sustain himself. He's able to do a full clear if he wants to. And he's able to gank at level 2 or 3 and has all these options available to him. So Shorter Ace might know something that we don't.
Yeah, well, maybe know something that Fusion doesn't either. I mean, this is hardly a pickup that they had to be preparing for. As much as they have been prepared for a lot of things, Final 5 has taken surprise after surprise. And if they have enough here in game number 5, they can make it in the series. It'll be a tough one, though, and a lot of vision coming out to start this one up. They don't want any shenanigans as Fusion masses up towards the red just to secure their own. It looks like we might actually see the jungles left alone for a change.
Yeah, Fusion was invading and getting a lot of little tiny victories off of that. But no invade for them this game yet. Actually, they are going to all wrap up to that top lane. And then they're going to come straight down.
This could be a late invade forcing the blue trade. Yep. And again, if they catch Shorter or anybody in that jungle, it could be a rough start here for Final 5. So they're actually taking their time about it, going the full wrap around. Yeah, really going to be a nice late invade here if they get it. All 5 in the bushes, but there is a ward there. They will spot him on the way in, and you can see Shorter's taking his time about it.
Shorter is actually coming up towards that side, though, so he's going to be like,
never mind. Okay, I'm out.
He's got to book it.
Let's go back to the other blue.
Yep. Well, the thing is still Fusion applying the pressure and applying another lane swap.
Yeah, they've done this not twice, but 3 times now, and it's worked out the last 2, so why change what's working? The Entanto getting that solo farm up in the top, doing a little bit of a freeze job. He's going to bring Glebe Glarbu to join him in just a minute. Everything else starts out a little more normal, but we do see the Jungle Buddy system. Right now, it's all on Final 5 side, though.
Yeah, Prototype actually going to get himself the Krugs at the start of the game, get himself a little extra experience, and down to that bottom lane.
He hasn't really given up too much for it, especially considering there's nobody to really contest that farm with. Of course, they're also... MacNoon and Nintendude are going to the top side. I mean, we saw this, how that kind of split Jungle Buddy thing keeps going, where you tend to take the top. Whoa, Gate is low. Yep. To start this one. That Ezreal's starting to hurt.
It's no joke. It's really no joke in that mid lane there. You can see he took a lot of magic resistance. He's got 42 magic resistance already, and then he's got a lot of AD going his way. And that's something that LeBlanc has trouble functioning against, is auto attack, trading, and harassing.
Yeah, and it's hard to land the chains, too, when you have an escape out. I mean, a lot of really great Ezreal players know when to use the E, when to hold it.
When to use it offensively.
Exactly. And this time it's been pretty safe. Shorter's going to grab that blue buff. I mean, Ruck's still doubling up. They'll be able to take this crop on the bottom side. MacNoon actually, he's going to be wise to this. Uh-oh.
He flashed
Maybe
for it.
not. Yeah, Ruck's going really far forward. I don't think Shorter Ace was ready for this one. That's going to be first blood, but it goes to MacNoon. Fusion coming up with that one. And where was Ruck's going?
Into the lane. That had 3 people walking down it. He thought it was just MacNoon, and he thought that they could capitalize on it. But no, Nintendude was there, and Glebe was there as well.
Now this was, it's a bit of an ominous start for him. He's going to teleport up to the top, spend that one to try and deal it out against Nian Tanso, but he's still already a level down. Gate's still finding a rough time in this mid. Fusion has really taken charge of this early game.
Yeah, he also has to operate without his flash in this top lane, which is really big.
Here we go. They stun Rollitine, forcing his flash. They're going to look for Prototype. Maybe they could just find Rollitine. Oh my goodness. He's got a shield on. I don't know how long he can last. He's going down. Nintendo was burning, but he stayed alive through it all. Prototype gets away, but another hit to Final 5's early game.
There's a 2-0 from MacNoon, 4 minutes into the game of Game 5. He's off to a great start here for his team.
Final 5 got to be sweating this one, too. Of all the people to give 2 kills within 4 minutes, MacNoon would not be high on the list you'd prefer.
Actually be probably one of the worst people to give it to, considering how aggressive he gets. And when he's ahead, he can just accomplish that a lot easier.
Just about what he needs to do. He should have a nice amount of gold in his pocket, too. A little bit of CS up over Rux right now as well, even though Prototype's doing his best to push him back. A lot of ward coverage for Fusion on this bottom side. They don't want to give up any unnecessary dragons as they have been in previous games this series. Big wave up at the top. Rux can deal with it, but he has to avoid the hail of bullets that is Nian Tanso's Gatling gun.
Look at this Gate. He's had pressure on it from Huhi all game, but he's got a level advantage finally, and he used his W already.
Oh, and Nintendo X forcing his flash away. Huhi, they're not going to give this one up, though. Will they choose the right LeBlanc? No, they don't. Juked away, and Gate gets away. Not this time, boys.
Oh, but Gate might turn this around.
Oh, he might try to find the fight. Yeah, oh my goodness. Oh, the heel bait. Oh, get out of there.
Ignite, ignite.
Is it enough? I don't know. There comes Shorter Ace. Gate does get him at the end of the day. And Nintendude is going to bail out, so they get something back.
Yep. Jumped in, flash, ignite, pulls it off for himself.
That was close, though.
It was very close. It was very close on both regards. If they had focused the other LeBlanc, they would have been able to get away with it, but no.
Shorter Ace has been doing a pretty good job getting his clear on early game. Nintendo focusing a little bit more on the lanes, but all eyes on where he does make an appearance. He did try to grab that one, although he didn't really need to help. It looked like he might have for a second. Clears Raptors out. Make sure there's no vision over there.
And Shorter is doing a really good job, like you said, clearing his jungle, but his pressure on these lanes needs to go up because Nintendo is just influencing them as much as he possibly can. He was also there, and now look at that. He's coming up to the top lane. He's going to face check.
He's got the Equilibrium Strike. He's got a level advantage here, Rux. And there's really no push response from Nian and Glebe. Now they're going to start taking the mini wave in, but it took them just a second. This tower could go down. It looks like it will. Prototype just pushes those so damn fast. First tower of the game going to go over to Final 5 as they take their time about it, get excited, and get on out of there. Looking to set up this dragon if they can. 3 members on the top. Now would be the time, but there's vision there. Starting to ping for it. Will they go?
That dragon is the call that's going to come out here from Final 5 in just a moment. And Fusion realized that. They send Nintendo back.
Now's the time to do it. Ooh, Huhi.
Whoa, what?
Can't quite dodge enough, but that chain doesn't connect where Gate thought it was going.
Oh.
And this dragon is still going to start here. It's a pretty early one. Not as early as ones we've seen, but Shorter Ace is confident his team can take it. Here comes MacNoon. The Flame Choppers zone him away. Prototype, yep, he's going to have to walk onto those. And Gate just not letting Huhi get anywhere near this farm. There we go. He backs away on that one. Dragon going over. That is, again, Final 5 continuing their Dragon control. Such a priority for this team.
When you hit level 4 and onward, the matchup kind of swaps in LeBlanc's favor, especially when you have that ultimate. You have ways to dodge Ezreal's ultimate, his skill shots. It's very, very favorable to LeBlanc because you basically just treat it like any other AD carry you'd blow up.
Exactly, and he's kept even in farm on pace considering Nintendo's pressure right now. Really good job for Final 5.
Yeah, and also at the same time, you get tier on mid lane Ezreal, so you come back with even less power. You come back with no combat stats compared to what he's going to come back with in shorter race. The duel, the fight!
He comes back with all his blobs, able to pick out that red, but I'm still really curious to see how this is going to affect the team fights a lot, because again, that knock-up, that interrupt, they've got so many potent weapons on this Final 5 side, but Fusion, I mean, again, these are really experienced players. They have to know how these interactions will play out.
Everybody is as experienced, though.
That's true.
That is something that you
Evens
have to keep in mind.
Oh, Gate. Yep, nope, I'm out of here. Oh, teleport coming in right now. MacNoon trying to make something happen. Gate, he's going to go down. That's Nien picking him up. Where did he come from? Rule 18 is here to defend in the mid with Rux, but that was a quick one. Too quick for Gate as he falls over.
And Prototype continuing to push the top lane, looking for some turret damage. And there's the wave clear coming out. And this is an Aurelia. Aurelia does not have good wave clear at all. It's one of her weak points as a split pusher, and she really just relies on dueling.
Trying to buy some time here for Prototype to take down towers. An interesting strategy. You know, you don't typically think of the AD carries as split pushers, but this series they really have been able to do it. And Jinx on her own, if you're not contested, you just take those towers so fast.
Jinx is one of the faster split pushers. Tower takers is AD carry role.
It's kind of all or nothing though. If you don't get the tower, you don't get excited, then you're probably dead.
Yeah, that's if it's being contested for sure. But look at this at the top lane. They send 2 up there to try and fast push this. They might even just send Schroeder Ace up towards that part of the map as well to just finish off that tower and get something rolling on MacNoon, because here comes Glebe and they're going to see him too.
And he's not able to dodge out the zap. Glebe is spotted. Shorter Ace. They look to see if they can collapse on him. Here he goes. The jump on in. And that's forcing the flash out of Glebe. Glarbu, a nice trade. Spell for Summoner. But the wave is cleared and MacNoon keeps on defending.
Spell for Summoner is one of the best trades you can make.
Absolutely. Spell for kill.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's a little bit better.
A lot of times Summoners end up in kills that you get later on. It's kind of like an investment.
Exactly.
Show up to a dragon, the guy doesn't have flash.
Oof. MacNoon's taking a lot of damage here. Ice clawing on forward. He's going to jump on Prototype. They've caught him up the bubble. Oh my goodness, he might go down. Yes, he's got nowhere to go. Nintendude, it's MacNoon taking the kill there, and they thought they had the edge.
Yeah, Shorter Ace left that lane instead of continuing to help them with the push. He had something else on his agenda, but there was really nothing else to accomplish, possibly taking the red, but there's nothing towards that mid lane that he could have gotten.
Yeah, Gate's trying to find some revenge here, but Nintendude is able to flag drag his way back into tower range, and Shorter Ace will just be content with a little more Krugs. But yeah, they really need to find a little more of this. Rux, Nien! He almost got the damage. Yes, he does. The big one and the outplay from Fusion's AD carry.
The flash away as soon as Rux was coming down with that hit.
Oh, the rocket! Oh! That just grazed his whisker.
I just think I just turned into a monster. There was a blah, blah, blah. I don't even know what happened.
That's exactly what happened. Prototype has been pretty unreal on these rockets, but he doesn't tend to save them. He uses them really quickly to try to get a little bit more damage out. Same thing when he does with Ace in the Hole on Caitlyn. But that time, it was very nearly a miss.
Well, it's got a really low cooldown. It's 90 seconds.
Yeah, for what it does,
yeah,
it's pretty incredible. And this is the reason I think Jinx has been a very opportunistic pick for a lot of AD carries, but also particularly on Prototype. It fits his style so well.
Getting to these turrets. Jinx is actually the highest win rate AD carry currently on live.
No kidding.
Yep. Not kidding you.
I believe it.
Then I think it's Graves. But anyway. And then Ashe. Oh god, we're missing out. Where's the Ashe train?
I've seen Ashe played in every role. That's solo queue.
Okay.
Back to this one. Rux.
You've seen some things.
Oh, I've seen way too many things. Gate and who he. It's the vision game right now. The Ward Wars, you might call it. Dragon is going to be up in a minute and a half. And again, Final 5, every single time that one's back on the board, they all make a beeline for it, just trying to grab it as soon as they can. This time, Fusion, they might have the timer for it.
Nintendude continuing to pressure this top lane. He's pressuring the lane that has Prototype, because he knows Prototype looks at turrets, and then he just gets blood in his eyes, or I guess like cement in his eyes. So he's like, I want that.
Cement in your eyes sounds like a pretty bad thing to have.
Well, blood in your eyes is pretty bad too.
That's kind of true. But Prototype might check in Nintendude here. MacNoon's there. Yep, that's actually Rule 18 who's going to be the one getting caught. The Monsoon will keep him away, but they burn that spell, and they also get zoned away from each other by the Ezreal Ultimate True Shot Barrage from Huhi across the way. I've got some globals too.
And then Nintendo going back. Rux coming up to the top lane. Shorter race, 0 presence. Bunch of goose eggs in his score line.
Don't count the goose eggs before they turn into kills.
Well,
Prototype and Rule 18 are going to
tell
try to
me what
polish
to
off
do.
this tower. Oh! Well, they can tell what Prototype to do. He might have to back for just a second. Glebe is here. MacNoon, just so scary, even though there's so much backup here. The amount of burst that MacNoon has is starting to get a little terrifying for Prototype.
they're just going to get this turret. Bottom lane, they're going to have to trade that turret in response. 25 seconds on Dragon, though.
wants to
If
find
anybody
more.
dies right now.
Yeah, that would be an instantaneous one on that. Nian is in position to take this out really easily. No one's contesting him right now, but they're kind of massing up to continue the siege on the top. And actually, this time, Final 5 are the ones that are sort of neglecting the Dragon with 13 seconds before it respawns.
Yep, 10 on that. Going to have to hike their way down to that middle and then near that bottom lane.
Teleport's almost up for Rux here. So they could actually send him in a different way and try to grab that back if they need to. But MacNoon still got his.
Nian gonna back? He
really
is going to back.
Yeah.
Prototype is as well. So no real pressure on the Dragon just yet. People have to set up for it still. Nobody can go full on for it. It's going to be a couple more seconds before somebody does.
You can see the strong arming that Gates
Oh, he's
and the rest
smited the
are trying to
crab.
do. Yeah, oh, Nintendo X, he's actually caught up here. The rocket's going to come out. Is it going to connect? I don't think so. He's already down. But the insurance policy was nice. The Scuttle Crab did get smited away. This Dragon will get started. There's no way they can steal this without Nintendo back up. I guess I should never say never. Who he's looking for the ultimate. Can he get it? No, way too early. The wave coming in, and they just spend those crucial ultimates for this one. Gate doing the zone job. They are taking their time about this Drake, though. It is still a pretty big thing to deal with. And
taking
Rule
so much
18
damage.
Gate, yeah, Nian is actually pretty happy about the amount of damage he's been able to put on. And finally, Shorter Race gets the smite down, but they might pay for it. At least Rux might. He's going to go down. He nearly gets Glebe, or at least gets the jump on, but still, MacNoon on the chase. Can they pay for it with even more? For now, they've gotten away.
He almost has his ultimate available to him. So MacNoon.
Not done. Oh,
Block with the clone.
use the clone to block the damage. Nicely done there. Now Prototype going to try to take himself a red, but
Oh.
Hoohee gets it.
Ooh, he ends up picking up that. Oh,
Yeah,
wait, now he has
oh,
ulti.
perfectly timed flame choppers, but MacNoon does have the ulti down. I don't think he can duel this one out. Prototype, his forfeit, back to Fountain with him. 7-2 on the game at 14.5.
And man, sometimes you just gotta smite the Scuttle Crab, you know? Sometimes that thing's just, it looked at you funny.
It helped.
With its antenna, like I think it's.
Nobody likes the Scuttle Crab, do they?
No. I haven't met somebody who actually loves that crab. Nobody's like, oh,
Because
Scuttle!
you never kill it then.
No, everybody wants to kill that thing all the time. I don't know. I don't even know what it did to anybody.
It needs to
We
be
just-
cuter, man.
just
It
wanna
needs
kill
to
it.
look like a Poro. Then no one will kill it.
Yeah.
They'll just feed it.
I think just the way it runs away is so satisfying to track it down. That's her literally 1 HP. It's a Yordle fart away from going over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, statistically speaking.
I could have just said like a
You could have said anything.
tiny win, but I stuck with Yordle
That
fart.
was exactly what that was. I'm just astounded. Now, Hoohee, he can take it anytime he wants, polish that one off after the fact, but Fusion, they're looking pretty controlled this game, and they really have been in control of this early mid-game here as they try to stop the tower siege. Prototype doing everything he can to take in pot shots all around the way, taking MacNoon's health bar down a little bit low too, but they just don't have the full-on follow-up to take these fights.
There's a blue buff up. They might want to hand that off to Gate as soon as they can, as well as this red buff. Just kind of take stock of those things before anybody gets caught out. Really want to clear these, but oh man. MacNoon top lane having to clear that wave out. He does not have teleport available to him. He would not be involved in this fight if Final 5 were to press an issue.
Yeah, with the blue buff now going down over to Hoohee, he's going to have quite a lot of mana to draw on. Already did a bit more with that tier. But again, you see Final 5 just roving around trying to grab what they can, maybe take a pick, but it's really difficult to do that on Fusion's side. The team fighting has just gotten so much better since the start of this series, and it seems like Fusion really has woken up.
Yeah, and another thing too, I gotta harp on Shorter Race for this, because he's 0-0-0 still. He hasn't been doing anything this game. He got his team the Dragon, but that's because he just managed to stay alive.
It's been hard for him to find what he's trying to go in on. He used to be a little bit more reserved on that Lee Sin last game. He was able to really rock and roll with it, even if it didn't result in a win for his team. But this time, yeah, it seems like he's kind of been playing a little bit more back now. And Gate might get caught up on this turret that's almost got no health, has to distort away, jumped in. Oh, he has to mimic his own distort. Wait a minute, Gate, he's still caught up, forcing his passive to pop. And they take a tower, keep on rolling. Gate, he could go down. That's the wrong Gate. Never mind. I got juked.
Gotcha.
There he is. He still got the blue buff.
They got gold for him, though.
They did, and they're going to look for this mid tower now. Huhi trying to defend away. Prototype just looking for those aggressive kills, but Huhi's already under tower. The rocket is up if he wants to take it. He may not need it, though. Here we go. Huhi trying to get away from that one, and he's going to give it over to Shorter Ace. Meanwhile, this tower second tier in the top lane is going to get taken out, and it's just kind of been a free-for-all on these.
Yeah, and Rux has been on this bottom tier 2 the entire time. Shorter Ace is going to rotate over towards this, but here comes the home guard Maknoon, ready to make action. He just uses E in.
Oh boy, that tower, it's going pretty low right now, but they don't have much in the way of health bars. Maknoon, he gets Howling Galed up to try and stop him, see if they can still try to take this chase. Nintendo trying to find something. Shorter Ace is going to leap away from it, though. And they trade towers 1 for 1, it looks like. They didn't end up taking that inner in the mid either.
Is he going to go over? He's going to go over.
He's going to. Oh, Prototype, yeah. Nowhere is safe. Nintendo X is on the hunt, and he wants some blood right now. Prototype, oh, they've left him alone. He's gotten away, though.
True shot barrage?
Wait,
True shot barrage?
True shot barrage. And interrupted. No champagne. Not till you win.
I mean, both of these teams, after this game, one of them will be able to pop that champagne.
Rocket back to base with it. Maknoon has been a pretty scary force unless Lestrandra after those early 2 kills. He's gotten himself 1 more. He hasn't gone down yet with the early Zhonya's. It's helped him out as well. But again, Final 5 just unafraid to make these tower dives and make these big plays. And it seems like almost the roles have swapped. The control game here is Fusion's now, and Final 5 are the ones who are trying to get all the kills back that they can.
Yeah, but Final 5 constantly find themselves in a deficit to Fusion, which means there are a ton of weak points on this team. There's a ton of weak points in terms of their map movements before they have to get to a clutch situation. Their dragon control is better than Fusion's, but Fusion have better team fight prowess. Final 5 step up every now and then, and they step up sometimes and it matters. But the fact that they find themselves in deficits every time just kind of calls out their farming and the way that they're playing lane swaps and the early game.
Speaks a little to the consistency issues that they have had here now. They're going to try to get back and defend this tower, but look at this, they're leaving it alone.
They have consistency stuff. They're consistently behind.
Well, that's true. Got me there. But they just not getting back to defend these things. They're giving up so much ground to Fusion, and it seems like after the first 4 games, they've been figured out here. Huhi now going to send out a true shot barrage. It's not going to connect on Prototype, who was trying his best to split push that one away, but it gets so dangerous with all these weapons here. And 18 seconds on Dragon, you can't afford to give anyone up.
Exactly.
Shorter Ace, he wants to start a fight here, but who's behind him?
18 seconds on it. Maknoon is not there yet. Rux wants to start something.
He's got teleport, though. Bubbly. Wow, Nintendo X, where was he going right now? He's going to make everyone jump in the pit, but they've taken him down. Rux, the Monsoon forcing everyone away. Maknoon now looking for Prototype. He hasn't locked up, but the damage is all there. The rocket goes absolutely nowhere. Shorter Ace getting bursted down right here into little globules. Maknoon trying to finish up Prototype. It's a double kill, though. That goes over to Tanso, and Fusion cleans up with a triple kill.
And they're going to get themselves a dragon on top of that. Maknoon actually got hit to where he wanted to be. Watch this Monsoon. As soon as everything comes through, they get Nintendo'd with the damage, but then here comes Monsoon, there goes Maknoon. Oh hey, special delivery, right onto Prototype. Their big damage source that they need right now. And then the Zhonya's, as soon as the Super Mega Death Rocket was coming out, just goes straight through him and hits nobody, and Maknoon lives.
Yeah, and at that point, there was just no chance for Final 5 to come back in that one. And it seems like they're not playing it out the way they want. Rule 18 normally very, very good on Janna, and that was a very misplayed Monsoon, I agree. It was good in theory, but then, yeah, Maknoon got exactly where he wanted to. That tipped the fight hugely.
Yeah, that's going to be that's going to be the first dragon of the game for Fusion.
Second Final one of the game total. So they
Final 5's already sitting on 2. So
oh, they're sitting, excuse me. Yeah, so that they get a little closer to evening that one up, but they do want those battle stats. They already were able to win a fight without them anyways, so that's perfectly fine. And an ace at 21 minutes is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, over this series, I've learned very quickly that Final 5 have some troubles in the laning phase against Fusion's members. Fusion just don't always group up, but they do team fight better than Final 5. The Final 5 plays a little bit of the strategic game with split pushing better, but they don't have the split push game going for them this game.
Well, we know that they favored the skirmish comps where they like to take 2v3 or 3v2s and 4v3s, but they haven't really been exactly. But they haven't been given those at all. Fusion has started to get wise to their ways here, and Shorter Ace's Zac, it just hasn't panned out this game so far. He's 1-1-1 on that champion, and we have seen a bit more impressive play on his Lee Sin.
Yeah, his kind of influence in this game has been very minimal. Rux at the same time flashing over the wall to start it off, then ended up not in a good position. He's 1-4-1, and Maknoon in the almost polar opposite, 4-0-5.
Talk about Rux.
Same thing.
Talk about Rux especially because he's, well, we have to in a minute because Gate is caught by Maknoon. I don't know if he's going to live through this one. He's got the chains on, but there's the ultimate. Gate getting bursted down all through it. He's trying to dash away, but there comes the claw. Maknoon, oh, he's not even fooled by that one. Oh no, Gate in a little bit of trouble, and he chooses the right one. Shorter Ace now trying to make something happen. Nintendo, why are they targeting him? He's going low. He's sticking around though. The Monsoon didn't help them out nearly as much as they thought they were going to. Rux, he's trying to get away from this one back to the base. Prototype's trying to as well, but they cleaned up Rux. Glebe actually got the kill for that one. 3 for 1 on the trade. And again, Fusion comes hard. They're going for more. Nantanso, he's exhausted, but it doesn't matter. The shred was there.
Fusion are not going to fall to prey to the same mistakes they've been making in games 1 and 2. Instead, they're going to go take inspiration from their games 3 and 4, and they're going to get a very early inhibitor here at 23 minutes.
They're just absolutely crushing, and these games have been pretty long so far. This one started pretty quick. Oh, you got to polish that one off. Oh, shorter Ace. Nope. Doesn't want to jump in there. Well, Prototype still sitting on the fountain, but Fusion taking themselves more and more advantages. Almost 10,000 golden lead again.
Yeah, it's just this early mid-game, really a pain point here for Final 5. I think that their late game, like their 50-minute, their 40-minute is really strong, but Fusion have just kind of worked around that mid-series adaptations, the fact that they have such a large support squad, support staff, that can give them this type of information between the games and give them like just what they need from a coaching perspective, from just full-on support, and keep encouraging them, even when they're under pressure and down 2-0 in a best-of-5.
Yeah, it's really miraculous to see how that comeback has happened, how they've been able to reshape themselves and their strategies going forward and capitalizing on the little mistakes the Final 5 are making. Maybe they were the ones that got a little bit too comfortable going into Game 3, then Game 4, and now sitting at a fairly large deficit 24 minutes into Game 5. It's not looking great for the Final 5.
Yeah, a lot of deathless members here too on Team Fusion. 11 kills up. This is looking more like a game that you would expect when somebody is up 9,000 gold, but it's so early on too.
Yeah, it's incredible how they've been able to take this. If they can snowball this lead forward, they've really got a shot to shove them in here. And with an inhibitor already down, there's so many things you can do for pressure. Now, Maknoon, he's caught by Gate and Shorter Ace. See if he can juke his way out of this one. I don't think so, though. The Zanyas is on. That's only going to delay the inevitable, and that is going to be... Oh, he's got his ult on himself right now. Continuing to delay, just a little bit flashing now, and he's ignited. He's caught. I think he's going down. That's a shutdown going to Gate, and the rocket for insurance comes in again.
Yeah, and that looked like it would have been right on target again from Prototype.
Prototype's 0-4 this game, though. He's really hungry for a kill.
Yeah, he needs some kills. He needs to get going, especially against these double AD carries who are just going to be pumping out damage all game long, and especially in this mid game and the late game. Double AD carry, really good against this composition until they get super tanky.
Yep, here we go. The siege happening on the tower, but who's sieging who right now? Could be trouble for Shorter Ace. He's going to jump onto Glebe. He's going to take him down, but meanwhile, it's Prototype who picks up Glebe Glarbu. He's the one getting Gate down there, and now he's by himself a double kill. That's Prototype, the kills he needed. The Monsoon keeping him alive, and they'll be able to siege down this tower, and Nintendo can't get involved, but Maknoon is teleporting in to try and make the difference. No, he cancels it.
Cancels the TP, like you said. Prototype actually flashed the True Shot Barrage there just to close the distance onto Huhi, and he got a Get Excited. They flanked around that turret. Me and Tanto had nothing to do with that fight, but meanwhile, their super minions pushing down this middle wave. They're going to have to deal with this. There are 45 seconds on Dragon, and they don't have time to set up either. So Final 5, no vision of any of that right side of the map or those wards, and they have to deal with the base.
Yep, that being said, they did manage to grab a tower out of that as well as a couple of kills, giving him over to Prototype. Clearly gives them a little bit of breathing space in here if they can clear these super minions off. Now the Baron being started for Fusion, recognizing everyone's at home. The Rocket's just going to come in and check, and it hits in the back of the end, but it doesn't really matter too much. He gets knocked up. He's perfectly okay with that. Rux is going to come in. The 10-dude-X, he's pretty low right now. He's tanking everything up, though. Rux checks in way before his team gets there, and the Baron helps polish him off. Legendary kill for Nien Tanto, and here comes Maknoon. Zanya's Hourglass immediately, and they're starting to chase down Prototype. He's not going to live too long. Rule 18 takes Maknoon, but they answer back with a double kill for Nien Tanto and the True Shot Barrage.
Yeah, Prototype came from a completely different angle than his team, and they just collapsed on him while Maknoon bought them time, and now the Stragglers are going to get picked off. Their super minions still pushing into the base.
Yeah, they didn't even need the Baron. It looks like they just were trying to take something opportunistically, and they're finding something even better. Rule 18's down. That's going to be Shorter Ace getting popped into Globules. That's going to not be the ace because Gate is back up. He's still hanging around the side, but he can't get back easily, sweeping and trying to back now, and if they catch him, well, Rux is up, but still, these super minions are starting to wail away.
fight started off with Rux going really hard, getting baited into Gleeblarbu, who ended up getting healed and using Mikhail's Crucible, but Gate is still here, and they see him, and that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage. They're not even bothering to clear this pink ward right now, but they're just trying to keep Gate away from everything, and he's dashing in, see if he can't pull off the Miracle Steal. It would be a big one. Everyone is low on this one, and the Baron is pretty low. Here comes Gate. Oh, Nian, he's going to get the legendary kill. They send in a rocket and take down Glebe, but the Baron, in the end of the day, does go over to Fusion. Prototype gets a kill as a parting shot, though. Still not enough.
Man, they threw those skill shots preemptively, too, to try and catch Gate off guard. Because if he would have been able to jump in there, distortion, and mimic that, and hit multiple people with it, that could have been an instant triple kill.
Yeah, as it stands, it was an incredibly close thing, and you could see how controlled Fusion was making it. It was a dangerous move, but a bold one, and it paid off for them. A massive gold edge right now, just about 10,000, as well as the Baron buff on 4 members, and they're keeping on pushing forward.
See Shorter is getting his red, but Dragon is up, and they have no control of that area for Final 5. They haven't even cleared the pink wards on that side, and this team is just hurting. The level department is definitely not in their favor. You can see 2 levels up on Nian Tanso, 2 levels up on Noon in the top lane. The Monobar is not in their favor either, and it is going to be another Dragon, the second one for Fusion.
It's 2 and 2 right now, and here we go. Trying to take a little bit more back in their jungle and back to base. They do have an inhibitor back up. They'll have that to breathe with, but should Fusion start to siege down these turrets, it may not last too long. The easiest target for them right now is on that bottom side, so you can see Noon doing a little bit of work on those minions right now, drawing the attention of Gate.
Here's the thing, Gate on that LeBlanc Deathfire Grasp, ready to blow somebody up, but hasn't been that successful with it. It's really hard to blow up Noon. He's able to get himself into his invulnerability and has the Zonias, and catching these AD carries and hitting them with distortion is just on the AD carries misplaying.
In the Vision game, over the past couple of them have been really changing for the better for Fusion. For a while, F5 was really doing a great job at sweeping out and making sure that their own jungle was almost clean, immaculate all the time. But this time, Fusion has been allowed to sneak back in and just get a little bit more here, and there's really a lot of housekeeping that Final 5 have to do. They haven't really been able to. They've just been so flustered, so pressured. That tower goes down so quick with the Baron buff and this big minions here. And now Huhi going forward, looking for a little bit more. They're going to keep sieging this one in, and maybe this is where they break the inhib.
Yeah, and a big thing here too is that Final 5 don't have a good amount of wave clear. It's pretty much on Prototype, but if he's in range of those minions, he's in range of a Cataclysm after the Flagon Dragon.
Yeah, he does take a big rocket to the face. The siege is going to continue. There's another wave pressuring down bot, coming in just a minute. In the middle, they're doing okay. In the top, they're all right, so they don't have to draw their attention too far. They're actually just taking the laser right now. Nian is tanking this one up as that last big cannon minion falls over. They've got it down to a little over half health, but the siege will continue, and this Baron buff is still pretty fresh. Oh, here comes Shorter. Oh, he wants Nian Tanso. The wave's going to come after the disengage. The rocket hits Nian, but it may not be enough there. No, it wasn't. Noon going golden right now, and they just force everyone back. Gate has already evaporated. This is going to be the inhibitor. They take it just so fast, and they can move up to mid and take 2.
And Gate, like you said, he got blown up. Couldn't even DFG in that time or get his damage down. Short race,
nope.
Short hop.
That was quite a short hop. Oh, he's down. That didn't even have his passive up. Huhi now, he gets away from all this one. They're going in. They might just be able to end it right here if they can take this fight. Gate is going big. Nian Tanso gets the legendary kill. They're down to 2 members. It's Prototype and Rule 18. Can the shot callers defend for the rest of this game? 2 inhibitors down, and Fusion take the safe route out.
Nian Tanso has been having such great performances in this series. 13-0-4 on that Corki. Really, really big coming into this game and the previous game and the one before that. Just their victories are really off the back of Nian Tanso getting rolling, the shot calling when you're ahead. Much easier.
He wants more. Prototype. Oh my goodness. Phosphorus bomb.
Doesn't even get time to react. Nian Tanso, 14-0-4.
Yeah, now Noon gets sick. Oh, whoa. Hits keep on coming.
Didn't even get the DFG off again. They're just getting blown up and CC too quickly to actually get his full combo off on this LeBlanc.
Yeah, that 2 big plays one after another. Gate and Prototype both down now, so they're going to have the 5v3 siege advantage. Fusion just looking to shore up their edge, pushing down the last remaining inhibitor, turret and inhibitor. I don't think they have quite the disengage. Shorter Age is going to try it, though. They have a tower for the time being. Nintendo taking up all the shots. Noon, though, he's blowing them up. Huhi manages to get the kill. He hasn't had his passive up in a while. Rule 18 and Prototype are, again, the last member standing. That may not be for long. And Rux, excuse me, he was back as well. That inhibitor number 3 is going down. They've taken all 3 here. They're still methodically sweeping through.
The Baron buff is now gone. But they have all 3 inhibitors. It's almost a death sentence here for Final 5. Fusion looking to knock them down into the loser's bracket and then move on to winners finals.
Dude, this might be a death paragraph at this point. Final 5 would have to have a monster comeback to keep going. Every stat across the board, they are down here. Teleport now coming in for Magnoon, and of course, Tanso is moving out. Oh my goodness, he's going with the home guards. That is a speedy Lissandra. Can he get away? And he finds Gate. I think he can. Yep, realizes it's happening, but the ult's on. He just melts him and his clone too. Magnoon taking a big one.
And there goes the true shot barrage from Huhi.
Insurance policy, man.
Yep.
Those are global ults.
Global ults are just coming through with great accuracy. But at the same time, double super minions in both waves. Extremely hard to deal with, especially at 32, 33 minutes into the game. And with this Fusion team behind it, they're pushing for victory.
Yeah, there's still a few minutes before any of these inhibs will come back up. They've got their turrets on the Nexus here. They have the wave clear of Prototype, but is it going to be enough? Fusion are really taking this as methodical as they can, waiting for all the minions to arrive, trying to keep the attention focused on this mid. Fusion, can they take this and end it and move that much closer to becoming an LCS team? They're certainly going to try right here, but look at this wave clear. They're staying alive. Prototype, he's really the hope, the heart and soul for this team, but is it going to be enough for Final 5?
Well, they're down 16,000 gold.
Oh, here's that new Prototype. Oh, and he goes golden again. Gate's pretty low. They've caught Rux on a bubble. Prototype staying alive. Magnoon getting blown up. That's Prototype on the rocket. He manages to take him down. They've lost a Nexus turret, but they're still going for more. Huhi now. Rule 18. Can he make it back to Fountain? Yes, he can. They tag and switch out. Leave is down. Nintendo, they get the big shutdowns. These death timers are starting to get high, and Prototype tries to get the kill. Doesn't quite have it. And Tanso and Nintendo are still there, but there's still the super minions to contend with. Can they push them back? This is so close right now.
Too many minions
here. Oh,
they
just can't deal with it. The minions Nintendo, they don't even need to worry about dying. That's going to be it. Game 5. Fusion comes all the way back from a 2-game deficit and manages to get that much closer.
You can see there the pressure, the relief, down 2-0, and then coming back. Final 5 looked like a really good team at the start of the series, but Fusion proved that they are the team that can stick together regardless. And it's not over yet for these guys.
No, they will certainly have another chance. They will face off in the lower bracket, the losers match. It will be an elimination match going forward tomorrow, but they have another chance to go forward in this one, and it's just it's a heartbreaking loss, though, when you go up 2-0 like that, especially when nobody really expected you to do it. Obviously, you believe in yourself, you can go pretty far, but to take a 2-0 and then go down 0-3 after the fact, that's rough.
Yeah, the thing, too, is that they've exposed a lot of weaknesses of Fusion that I'm pretty sure Curse Academy and Coast, whoever faces them next round, are going to be able to watch these matches and kind of pick that apart, because Fusion has some very glaring weaknesses when a team like Final 5 can take advantage of them in games 1 and 2. Like, they didn't have everything together, and I think that that's going to be something that's very exploitable.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a hard time to climb back for either. Well, for Final 5 especially, it's going to be a little bit difficult for them to climb back, but Fusion has revealed a lot in all of that as well, and this has been like their big test here. They've kind of been pushed a lot farther than they have in any of their other matches in their previous match in this tournament. So we'll see how far they can go going forward. And what a monster of a first set today. I can't believe that was the first 5 games.
Yeah, and a lot of people thought that it was just going to be straight out, just 3-0 in Fusion's favor because they have a lot of hype behind them. Luckily, Final 5, they showed up. They showed that under pressure that they deliver. And at the same time, you said this team didn't expect to get this far. They were, when we talked to Miss Peach, saying that they were preparing for next year's Challenger season. Well, they've already qualified for next year's Challenger season by being in this part of the tournament, making it this far into the playoffs. And this was a team that was formed not too long ago, and they still have exceeded their own expectations.
Yeah, so a really, really good play for them all around. And, of course, Fusion moving on to the next round. We've got that happening. But, of course, let's talk a little bit to these guys. They've got to be feeling relieved. We'll send it down to Dash at the front of the stage. He's going to be talking with the winners team, Fusion.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with the winners, Team Fusion, after a hard-fought 5-game series, coming back down 0-2. Magnoon, I'm going to start with you. How does that feel? You're now only 1 series away from qualifying for the LCS.
To be honest, when we lose to them 2 times in a row, I might thinking of what time to go to Korea back to Korea.
All right, well, you don't have to have those thoughts just yet because you're moving on to the winner's bracket, right? So moving forward, Nian, you're playing the winner of Curse Academy and Coast. How confident are you going into those matchups?
I personally feel fairly confident versus Curse Academy. We used to scrim them a lot, but we haven't scrimmed Coast in a while, so I think it just depends on how the set goes to determine my confidence. But I think we can beat either team if we play well, because I don't think we played at our normal level in the first 2 games at least, or in almost all the games. So I think if we show up like we normally do in scrims, then we should win the series.
But you've showed that you have the ability to come back from tough losses. So talk to me a little bit about what the discussion was like within the team after going down 0-2 with the support staff that you guys have. You know, what were those discussions? What were the, you know, kind of the decrees, especially as shot caller, like, all right, we got to get back into this, and this is how we're going to do it?
Yeah, I just kind of repeated relax, focus, listen like 50 times. And then the coaches were all like pumping us up and everything. So I just tried to make sure that everyone was calm and ready to go into the next games, because I know I could tell that people were feeling down, so I just tried to make sure that they weren't feeling down anymore, and it worked out.
All right, yeah, happy players, right? That's got to be helpful. MacNoon, I talked to Nien earlier in the broadcast today and had mentioned how the team was formed so quickly. So what's the journey been like, however short it's been? What's the journey been like with these other 4 guys, 5 rather, because I got to include Chunky, you know, building this team and getting to this point?
I don't get it.
How has it been playing with these other 5 guys and growing?
Okay. Those guys American.
Fair enough. Those guys are America. There it is. Okay. Nien, let's talk a little bit about picks and bans, because in the first 2 games, you guys seemed like you had very strong team comps. You had control of the first game pretty early, but things started to kind of fall apart. Now, was that a matter of not quite having the team comp you needed in order to close out the game, or was it you know, an inability to, you know, catch up to the crazy lane swap, or, you know, crazy split pushing going on by gate?
I can't really give you an exact answer because the games are kind of all jumbled together. But in the first 2 games, we were trying to make solo plays a lot, and like we got picked off a ton, and we weren't really following our win conditions at all. And in the next 3 games, I tried to make sure a better job that everyone was always on the same page, and we wouldn't get picked off anymore, and it worked out pretty well.
All right. I want to look at your champion picks, MacNoon, because you play a lot of different champions, and the champion pool in the top lane is changing. So you've played Poppy, Jace, Lissandra, Rumble, Gnar. Are those the type of champions that you love to play and you think are the strongest, or like do you play them just because you enjoy playing them?
I think Gnar and Rumble, Maokai, Kazareni is best pool in top in my opinion, but in the future I want to play Teemo top.
Teemo top. I'm sure everybody at home would be overjoyed.
Because I like the Yodel.
You like Yordles. Who doesn't like Yordles? They're small and cute, right? All right, final question, Nien. Like I said, you're going into one best of 5 tomorrow to see if you qualify there, but knowing that you still have that fallback of another best of 5, even with a loss there, is that going to give you guys kind of that ease to go in and do your thing, have a little fun with the game, and maybe pull out something tricky?
I doubt that. I think we're just gonna focus on winning tomorrow, because I'm not really even thinking about Sunday. I'm just thinking about tomorrow. And if tomorrow goes wrong, then we'll just think about Sunday then. But I think we will be able to beat either team. So I'm just really focused on those games tomorrow. I think we'll do really well.
Fair enough. Well, congratulations again to all 5 of you, and thank you very much for joining me here on the stage. We are going to throw it to a quick break before we come back for our second series of the day between Curse Academy and Team Coast.